What's going on? Travis with TravisStelzer.com, TrainAggressive.com, and got a quick little video here I wanted to do as I've gotten a lot of people write in, talk about their goals, and they're just not happy with where they're at. And when I ask them, where they've come over the last, 6 months, year, they've made a lot of progress, they've achieved a lot of things, they've brought a lot of success their way, but for some odd reason they're just not happy. And what I want to talk about is a concept that I took this from Pure Genius, okay? And the author's name is slipping my mind right now. It'll come back to me, but it's talking about the gap, how people chase the gap, and how we continually, if we do this, if we continually compare ourselves to the ideal self, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link up a link to some audios that are very, very powerful, okay? And I wanted to share these with you because literally this stuff, knowing this stuff will change your freaking life, okay? And I'll tell you right now, I used to always compare myself to the ideal. And basically what the ideal is perfection, okay? And if you know anything in life, there's no such thing that exists that is perfection, okay, in the world. There just isn't. There's always going to be some sort of flaw somewhere, okay? So if you continually try to chase the ideal self or perfection, you're never going to be happy, okay? And that's the first thing that you need to understand. And to give you a good kind of visualization of what the ideal is, the ideal, think of it as the horizon, okay? So if we're in the desert, okay, or anywhere, so the mountains, and you look out and you see the horizon. So we see that point on the horizon. Maybe we see the sun setting. If you think to yourself, I'm going to run as fast as I can, and I'm going to chase that sun. The thing is, you're never going to catch it, okay? You're never going to be able to chase the horizon because it's always going to stay the same distance away from you. No matter how hard you go, no matter how perfect your journey is or how prepared you are, you just can't get there. And that is the same thing that your ideal self or your perfect self is in life. So if that's what you're continually chasing, you're never going to be happy. That's why when you achieve goals, you get down to a certain percentage of body fat, or you achieve a certain, percentage of strength, or you get, just fitness level, performance level, wherever it is you get to. If you're comparing yourself to the ideal, you're going to get to that point, and then you're not going to be happy, and you're going to continue to move on. All right. So that's the first thing you need to understand: is stop comparing yourself to your ideal self. Okay. Instead, I drew out a little graph here, and it starts at week 1, goes 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 18 weeks. And in regards to goals, something I always talk about is, what's your goal for the month? What's your goal for 6 months? What's your goal for a year? It's very important that we continue to set goals, okay? And this is where it can get tricky, because people ask me, Travis, well, I set my 6-week goal and I hit my 6-week goal. Now what? Like, am I not supposed to be happy? I'm supposed to set more goals? That's not the key. These markers here, 6, 12, and 18 weeks that I'm showing on this graph, those are markers for you. So obviously you set deadlines and you set goals so you know where you're going. This is a key important. This is key to happiness here, okay? So we have some sort of target to shoot for instead of, going around blind. Okay, that's why you set up those goals, however long they may be. Okay, it might be a weekly goal, might be a monthly goal, might be a year goal. All right, I recommend chunking and 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 18 weeks, or 4 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time. Okay, because when you get a little bit longer than 6 weeks, it's usually a little bit more daunting. So I recommend setting short-term goals right there. So you have short targets to hit. Now the key is, when you hit these targets, yes, you get to that target, you hit a goal, recognize that success and be happy with it, okay? And the key about this is, if you get to that point and you're not happy, one of the things that can change your thought process in regards to your happiness is looking back to where you were to where you are now. Okay, even if you're not where you want to be now, look back at how far you've come. That'll change the perspective on things, okay? If you get to a point and you're like, well, I made it to my goal, but I'm still not happy, look back at what you achieved. Look back at, the high points that you got through, the barriers that you pushed through. That's going to make a huge difference. But if you're always comparing yourself to the ideal and you're always looking ahead and you're never stopping to look back to where you came from, then we're going to have some problems. You're not going to be happy, okay? And so looking at this, so we got week 1, 6 weeks, 12 weeks, 18 weeks. I have this here. You want to stop at each point. So once we get to 18 weeks, you should be looking back. Where was I at 12 weeks? Where was I at 6 weeks? Where was I at the beginning? And this is something that I've talked about in the past as well, is a gratitude journal, or just journaling and writing down, high points of your life, positive things that have happened in your life. So you can look back when you hit that top goal, and it's about the journey that you go through when you're doing this. All the ups and downs, that's what creates you as a person. That's what builds you up strong, helps you build armor up, all right? And it's all mental, it's all physical, and that's the key, is always looking back to where you came from, recognizing those high and low points, because that's going to make a huge difference. Now, a couple points that I want to make with this. Number 1, happiness is a freaking choice. You ultimately choose to be happy, and I'll give you a good example here, okay? We've got people that have millions of dollars. Money is not an issue to them, okay? Look at these movie stars, okay? They have all the money we could ever wish to have, all the freedom, all that different stuff. They choose to be happy. You see these people, they have ultimate freedom, financial freedom. They have everything they can need. But for whatever reason, they're not happy. They get into drug problems. They have all these different issues. Some take their life. I mean, that's crazy to think about that. When here you see these other people, they're dirt poor, but they have big smiles on their faces. They're full of energy. They love life. And I'll tell you right now, it's a freaking choice. It's a freaking choice to be happy. Okay, so you have to make that choice. If you're somebody that's constantly chasing that ideal, you're going to be living a miserable life. And I'll tell you right now, I used to be that way until I switched my thought process and I started thinking about this stuff, and I realized that's what was going on, because that's the big key, is realization and understanding what's going on, how this thought process is going. So once you figure this out and understand it, it's going to change your whole mentality and your whole outlook on goals and life and success and all that good stuff. So number 1, just know, happiness is a choice. Number 2, any progress is good progress. Okay? And the key about this is, I know we set big goals. All right? I have big goals too. But say we fall short of those goals. Any progress is good progress. All right? You have to look at that and you have to recognize that and take that in and say, hey, I freaking got better today. I didn't get to where I wanted to be, but I freaking got better. Look back at where you were. You took 3 steps ahead, all right? And I know we'll have failures in life. It's just a part of life. You're going to have failures in everything you do, but just make sure you do not quit and you keep taking steps forward. That's the key about it, all right? So any progress is good progress. And that's always as long as you're making the choice to be happy, all right? Set goals often. Okay, I talk about that a lot. Don't just set one big goal. All right? It's good to have a big overall picture of where you want to get, but guess what? It's not going to look like this straight line. I probably shouldn't have drawn it out like that. It's going to look more like this. We're going to start here. We're going to go up here. We might come here. We might go way up here. Might come here. Boom. Here's point Z. Here's point A. Boom. We're going to get there, right? But it's going to look pretty damn crazy. All right? The world is full of chaos, so you need to accept that chaos and know how that works. Not everybody can go straight line A to Z. Okay? You just got to recognize that. And that's why we need to set goals often. and stop where we are, look back to see where we've come, and just keep moving forward. All right? Final thing is what I just said, look back and track, be happy. All right? So there it is, right there. Get rid of that ideal self, stop thinking perfection, and just, make the choice to be happy. Continue to make progress forward, even when we get freaking stopped in our tracks or we get knocked on our ass. Big time. I mean, bad things happen in life too, but we just got to keep climbing that mountain and just be happy along the way and be freaking just thankful that we have the life that we have to live. All right, so hope this clears things up. I mean, it goes deep into the mental side of things, spiritual side of things. It can go a lot of ways, but this ties in with training big time, and you're going to start enjoying the journey that you go on when you start to think this way. So I hope this helps you out. Keep kicking ass, going 110% ham. Travis, I'm out.